My video series on the Remington Rolling Block. This is my rolling block that I've actually sporterized pretty decently by now, so I'm sure there's people are going to be pissed off about that. But I chose this model to sporterize, or this particular rifle to sporterize, because of the wear and tear that I had on it already, to the outside of the fact that it really wasn't anything close to its original collector's value. Anyway, we'll start with the safety check just to show that it's empty, and it is. I can see the inside of the chamber is empty. My finger's in it. Alright, we're good. Alright, so the first things we'll talk about is what I have done to this rifle. The first things first, it's probably the most noticeable, is the stocks. I completely hand-carved these stocks, this set of stock, from, I think it was Claro or Black Walnut. I got from burrowsandmore.com. It was pretty much the cheapest stuff they had on hand, and it was, again, my first time making a stock, so I really didn't even know what I was doing. But they came out pretty dang well. Let's see. I'll get to the ammo in a minute. For the stocks, I actually ended up inletting them pretty poorly around this area. I don't know if I can show that pretty well on camera yet. But so I had to come back and re-glass bed in those areas, which actually worked out perfectly. It is probably one of the tightest fits you can get on this. I even did this partially to the forend. It didn't really matter so much with the way it was being clipped on, but anyway. And then finish out the stocks, and I rubbed them in with boiled linseed oil for about 4 or 5 coats, and then I actually used true oil for the rest of it to finish off and give it a little bit of a sheen to it. So it's got a nice, I guess it's a satin sheen finish to it on both of these pieces. Let's see, I repurposed the front band for the forestock to hold that on. I originally planned on using a hole that was already drilled and tapped in the rifle. But that didn't work out, so I just rebuilt it with this, and it's worked out just fine. And then a cheapo aluminum butt plate, but that's what I had at the time to build it. Moving from there, I actually just got it back from the gunsmith today, and I had them, because I didn't have the tools to do it myself, drill and tap the scope mount right here. I used it was a Savage Axis scope mount. I cut it down to length for proper length. And they drilled it in with the back 2 screws, and it's held on tight so far. It looks like it's pretty solid. In addition to that, it was pretty loose at the front end, so I'd gone back with some steel bed by JB Weld and filled in with that. And it's a rock hard filler that's just holding the whole piece together, reinforcing it. So I don't have to worry about that moving. And then I had them cut the barrel down from 30 inches to 24. A lot of people have asked me why the hell I would do that. And really, it's just 30 inches is just quite big for moving on a deer blind, in my own opinion. I felt 24 inches would be a lot easier to work with as far as moving on a deer blind or just in general walking around as a hunting rifle. And again, adding to that also, like I said, the gun was pretty beat up when I got it. The muzzle was actually dented up, and it definitely needed to be recrowned. So if I was going to spend the money to recrown it, I might as well have had them cut it as well. So that's that part done. We'll get back to this end. The scope itself is a Vortex Diamondback. It is a 4-12 by 40, and these are one of my favorite scopes of all time. It's for the money. I think I spent $200 on the scope. Superior clarity. It zooms real well. The knobs on it all adjust very easily. I've actually mounted this on 2 of the rifles before I got to this one. And it's a great scope. That's why I chose it for this. In fact, I'm hopefully going to be buying about 3 or 4 more scopes by Vortex just for my other rifles that need scopes right now. But that's, for the most part, all there is about the rifle itself. It's a pretty basic build. The last step I will be doing, or I guess the last 2 steps, there's 2 screws right here, and those are pretty bent up and destroyed from the previous owners, so I'm going to replace those, not hard. And then I'm going to dur coat the metal surfaces flat black just to give them a more uniform finish and to kind of help hide the epoxy bed, as well as protect the metal. That's about it for the actual rifle itself. It's pretty basic, like I said. The next thing to talk about would be my ammo. And again, I will have a separate video specifically talking about the ammo itself, because for this gun it does require some very specific things to be done before you can actually shoot it. You can't use factory ammo. But just as a basic overview, these are the rounds I'm using. These are jacketed Hornady SSTs. They're about 162 grains. So they should fairly closely, not fairly closely, but be somewhat similar to the original rounds that they issued to these guns, so I'm hoping that these will give good accuracy. I haven't shot it as configured yet. I've tested it out just to make sure it wasn't going to blow up on me but before I had all the work done to it, and it held up just fine. So that being said, that's pretty much it. Keep watching out for my next video. I'm going to be talking more in depth about the actual ammo, what it takes to build it, all the data that I've used, and that's it. I'll see you then.